and we're going to continue our look at professional wrestling in Georgia, and specifically pro wrestling in Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to look at 1952, starting April 5th, 1952. Sonny Kurgas, I guess that's how you would say that name, defeated Jack Dillon by disqualification. Jack Claiborne defeated Buddy Jackson. Don McIntyre, which is and going to become the big star in Georgia, defeated Nick Carter. The NWA Southern Heavyweight title match, Jack McDonald defeated Lou Newman, with Jack McDonald becoming the new Southern Heavyweight Champion. April 11th, 1952 in Atlanta, Georgia. This is all at the Atlanta City Auditorium. Al Macy defeated Jack Dillon. Jack Claiborne defeated Buddy Jackson. Don McIntyre, Al Macy, and Sonny Kurgas defeated Jack McDonald, Lou Newman, and Nick Carter. I believe during this point in time, Nick Carter could have been the booker.
You think so? Are you saying that he's in the main event a lot?
I don't think he's in the main event, but Nick Carter was booking at the same time.
He's doing a good job. He's beating himself every night, so that's good.
Well, there you go. April 18th, 1952, Babe Zaharis defeated Sonny Kurgas. Lillian Bitter defeated June Byers in a ladies match. And then El Massey and Doreen O'Hara defeated Jack McDonald and Nick Carter. May 2nd, 1952, Babe Zaharis versus Doreen O'Hara. And I'm not for sure no winner for that one. Angelo Martinelli versus Danny Dusick. Tarzan White versus Wally Dusick. The Dusick name, Roddy, you know, big time in professional wrestling back in the 50s. I think what Frank Dusick might have been related to him as well, right?
I believe so.
The NWA Southern Heavyweight title match, Al Macy defeated Jack McDonald. And so Al Macy wins the title a month later after Jack McDonald defeated Lou Newman. On May 16th, Millie Stafford defeated Mars Bennett. Danny Dusick defeated Angelo Martinelli. Doreen O'Hara versus Wally Dusick ended without a winner as a time limit draw. Jack McDonald defeated Coley Karanen. I'm not for sure how you say that name.
No, it's the Kwarin. I'm not sure how that would be as well. So we hope that he does his name, and his name's coming up again, by the way.
Yes. I think I'll just call him Cola. Argentina Rocca defeated Don McIntyre. Don McIntyre, the big star, though, gets beat by Argentina Rocca. And I guess we probably know that because Argentina Rocca, big star off of the television at the time, off of that big television on the, I guess it was the Dumont Network. On May 24th, 1952, Doreen O'Hara defeated Jack McDonald. The NWA Southern Heavyweight title match, Al Macy defeated that Cola Carina, and Angelo Martinella and Argentina Rocca defeated Danny Dusick and Wally Dusick. I would have loved to see that match. That match would have been good. May 31st, 1952, Tarzan White defeated Howard Cattenline. Louise Green defeated Ethel Johnson by disqualification. Danny Dusick and Wally Dusick defeated Don McIntyre and Doreen O'Hara. And Gorgeous George came to Atlanta, the City Auditorium, to defeat Angelo Martinelli. On June 7th, 1952, Ethel Johnson versus Louise Green. Danny Dusick and Wally Dusick versus Don McIntyre and Tarzan White. Who won that? We don't know. The NWA Southern Heavyweight Championship, Al Massey went against Howard Cattenwine, and Gorgeous George returned there on June 7th, 1952 to take on Angelo Martinelli. We've got to tell you, Gorgeous George, one of the hottest box office attractions of all time. 6,000 people was on hand on June 7th, 1952 to see Gorgeous George return to Atlanta. June 13th, 1952, Tarzan White defeated Carlos Rodriguez. Angelo Martinelli defeated Wally Dusick. Danny Dusick versus Don McIntyre ended without a winner as a time limit draw. And Lou Thesz comes the NWA World Heavyweight Champion to defeat Al Macy. At the time, It was the NWA, but not the National Wrestling Alliance. It was the National Wrestling Association. It would be several years later before Lou Thesz would actually take every one of the titles and combine them by beating people. June 27th, 1952, Babe Zaharis defeated Chief Kit Fox. It's a very hard name to say. Mike Clancy defeated Carlos Rodriguez. Danny Dusick and Ike Ekins defeated Eddie Gossick and Abe Coleman. NWA Southern Heavyweight title match. Angelo Martinelli defeated Art Nelson by disqualification. And then on July 11th, 1952, Danny Dusick versus Mike Clancy ended without a winner as a time limit draw. Ike Atkins defeated Don McIntyre by disqualification. Babe Zaharis against Eddie Gossett. Many people would probably know him coming up as Eddie Graham, ended without a winner as a time limit draw. An NWA Southern Heavyweight title match. Art Nelson defeated Angelo Martinelli to win the title. So poor old Angelo only had the title for 1 week. Rodney, you're with us here.
Maybe he didn't draw. August the 1st, 1952, Art Nelson, the champion, defeats Don McIntyre by disqualification. Al Massey versus The Brain. Time limit draw in that one. You'd think it was Bobby Heenan?
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was either. Muscles, and I would love to see this guy. Muscles versus Eddie Gossett. The Southern Heavyweight Championship on the line. Art Nelson versus Don McIntyre, winner unknown. Baron Michel Leon defeated Babe Zaharis. August the 8th, 1952, is Babe Zaharis versus Ike Ekins. Ended without a winner because of time limit draw. Black Monster 1, Black Monster 2 defeated Mike Pedosis. I'm going to say that's what his name is, and Al Massey. Southern Heavyweight Championship match. Art Nelson defeated Don McIntyre. The Great Togo defeated Abe Coleman. August the 15th, 1952, it's Pee Wee James versus Irish Jackie. Black Monsters 1 and 2 defeated Mike Pedosis and Ike Elkins. Southern Heavyweight Championship match. Art Nelson versus Don McIntyre. August the 22nd, 1952, Babe Zaharis versus Mike Pedosis ended in a time limit draw. Ella Waldick defeated Cora Combs. Cora, awesome wrestler. Muscles versus Al Massey. And then, of course, Art Nelson versus The Brain with the winner unknown. August the 29th, 1952, it is Babe Zaharis defeating Eddie Gossett. Al Massey defeated Ike Akins. It's Cora Combs defeating Ella Waldick. The Brain versus Michael Pedosis. And of course, that was a time of a draw. Muscles defeated Art Nelson.
What who this Muscles guy was?
We got to figure out who Muscles is.
Yeah.
Yes. He might be some kind of gangster. Muscles. Muscling in on other people's business. September 5th, 1952, Mike Clancy versus Ike Elkson. Super Zebra Kid defeated Al Massey. Don McIntyre and Mike Pedosis, I hope I'm saying that right, defeated Black Monsters. And it's the Southern Heavyweight Championship match. Tarzan White defeating Art Nelson. And if I'm not mistaken, that would be a title change.
Art Nelson and Tarzan White, both tremendous wrestlers. If you've ever seen videos of them, they were tremendous. And big old dudes, both of them. September the 12th, 1952, Babe Zaharis versus Mike Clancy. This is all again at Atlanta City Auditorium, Atlanta, Georgia. Al Massey versus Jack Steele. Super Zebra Kid versus Tarzan White. The Black Monsters went against Don McIntyre and Mike. How did you say you think he said his name?
I'm going to say Pedosis is what I'm saying. I'm not sure, but it's okay. I mean, we've butchered other people's names on this program,
especially the.
I'm interested in seeing the Black Monster 1 and 2.
Yeah, I've not been able to find any photographs of it. It was October 3rd, 1952. Joe Starlin defeated Benny Becker. Handicap match. Ginger the Wrestling Bear defeated Jack Steele and Joe Kirkland. Mike Clancy versus Tarzan White ended without a winner as a time limit draw. NWA Southern Heavyweight title. Don McIntyre defeated Muscles. Rodney?
Yeah, Muscles was big time.
Yeah,
Muscle was big time. He was in the main event many times that I saw. November the 7th, 1952 is Jack Moore versus Jack Steele in a time limit draw on that one. Jerry Graham defeated Jack Whitworth. Leslie Carlton defeated Nick Carter in the Southern Heavyweight Championship. Don McIntyre defeated Eduardo Perez. And then November the 28th, 1952, Jack Moore versus Mays McLean. Eduardo Perez versus Jerry Graham, Jack Steele rather, and Billy Steele versus George Curtis and Jack Curtis. Babe Zaharias versus Don McIntyre. December the 19th, 1952, it's George Curtis and Jack Curtis defeating Jack Steele and Billy Steele. I'm assuming that they're all family related.
I think they were
the whole thing. The Curtis clan versus the Steele clan. Mays McLean defeated Jerry Graham in 31 minutes. I think is what it says. Red McIntyre defeated Kawari. We tortured those names. Argentine Rocca versus Leslie Carlton. And of course, that was no contest in that one.
Leslie Carlton was called Lord Leslie Carlton. And very similar to Lord Steven Regal. If you go back and see, he actually had a butler. Well, didn't Lord Steven Regal have a butler?
He sure did.
Sir William?
He sure did.
Very interesting stuff. That is 1952, the history of Georgia wrestling. On our next video, we will look at 1953 and 1954, but we'll also look at a very interesting story that happened and took place in Atlanta, Georgia, with Mildred Burke and June Byers. Stay tuned for that video coming up, and you'll see wrestling has always been very interesting behind the scenes. We'll see you in the next video.